slow, you can still go. Even when there's no hope, you can still go. I never answer to no, man, I still go. Go, 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 go. Hustle hard, hustle every single day. I'll be making moves till I'm buried in my grave. Through the system, I don't wanna be a slave. I've been doing shit my way, on the highway, and in the driveway. Isn't that strange? Cause I'm trying through the climb, I ain't right pain. You never hit the bitch, nah, I don't complain. Just gotta flip the switch and you can go and obtain anything you want, anything you need. Your mind's got the key ingredient, is belief. They'll see with the negativity, but I just gotta right by that energy. Even when you feel low, you can still go. Even when you feel slow, you can still go. Even when there's no hope, you can still go. I never answer to no, man, I still go. Go, 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 go. You got mine, but even I can change. You can flip the gray matter like some batter in your brain. That's why I say, fake it till you make it A. And if you play that game, then you just might make a change. Rearrange all the bad to okay. Take the worst thoughts saying, turn them to a game. Take the best thoughts saying, put them on display. On repeat in your brain till you're feeling no more pain. Never slow yourself down, you can do some more. Push past all the pain and you find a door. Open it up and finally explore everything that you thought you could never do before. Even when you feel low, you can still go. Even when you feel slow, you can still go. Even when there's no hope, you can still go. I never answer to no, man, I still go. Go, 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 go,
I care less about that attorney and whatever he feels and thinks about. That family has ignored phone calls. That girl used to live there.
In this case, I want to find out at a level of 7. Okay, so I find that level on my graph, and I come horizontally to my gradient line. Where it intersects with my gradient line, I'm going to come straight down to where it intersects with my fuck around line. Now there is going to tell me how much I have to fuck around to find out what I need to find out. See, as you can see, the more you fuck around, the more you're going to find out. And also, if you stayed on here and you never fuck around, you'll never find out. So I hope this lesson is helpful. Thank you.
What's happening, everybody? I got Mike on the screen right now. If you don't know Mike, that's my butt naked man. I pay a large amount of money. He's got a 401k. He's very well taken care of. What he does all day is he hits the like button nonstop, consistently all day. This is what he does. He doesn't get up and put pants on. He doesn't wash his face. He doesn't do anything. All he doesn't use, he's about his hygiene and his private parts is about as equal as I guess Cher's. But he doesn't have an Amazon wish list. But what he does do is consistently smash a like button. So let's give a round of applause to Mike, the man with no face, the man with no pants, my man, Mike. Now, here's the deal, people. We got Coffindaffer accusing Don Wells of sexually harassing Summer Wells. And we're going to get into it, okay? And it's so important that we do. We're going to do a little review of the Coffindaffer's last stream on the community. And, it's interesting because a lot of contradictions with that one. An FBI agent. I gotta love a former FBI agent who I respect law enforcement. I respect anybody who works on missing persons cases, but you gotta love it when they retire. The poll's up right now. Vote on the poll. Just like a a Chris McDoofus, a Chris McDonough who retires doing law. Well, I can't really put her in that category because Chris McDonough he got sued because he actually manipulated minor kids into confessing to a murder that they didn't do. Okay. The interview room, that guy. Yeah. If you didn't know, please check the video I did. We busted all the receipts out on that. It's old news actually, but you have another instance of another law enforcement person done with that life. It's over with. And they have to compete on the YouTube streets. It's interesting. It's interesting. Tonight, you're going to learn about Coffindaffer, and she can't stand Don Wells and Candace Wells. So she probably looks at somebody like me like a piece of utter dog shit. Gotta love it because I'm beating you on these YouTube streets. I gotta pat myself on the back. I got more subs than a former FBI agent. But it's not about subs and clout, but it is about clout chasing. And that's exactly what she's doing. And we have Cher, the life coach that you don't need, the child advocate that she's not. Cher, this dirtbag, the one who has lady part cream for $18.67, you can yourself can contribute to a bottle of lotion that will take care of her stenches down there where her lady parts are for just a mere $18.67. This lady should never, ever, ever talk about families with missing children, anything. Who's trailer parking this trash, Cher? Who's trailer parking this trash? How do you talk about anything with Don Wells, with Chris and Katie Prout? People, this is not my opinion. We're going to review an oldie goldie, a little classic clip that I found. When we talk about Cher, I give you two channels always. It's very important that you watch these two channels. And those two channels are Couch Clips and the Torch Spotlight, which definitely should get some recognition. But there's an oldie goldie that I don't think a lot of people seen on Cher. And you're going to learn a lot about her. And then the mere autocracy of her to even bring up any dirt on the Wells. But what I'm going to do tonight is defend my friends, because you have people out here clout chasing for clicks and views, trying to make them guilty on something that they just didn't do. We have all types of law enforcement saying that you don't have to love Don and Candace. You don't have to support them to view the channel, to watch the channel. All I ask you to do is take in the facts. Take in the facts, because we can't argue facts. It's what we can't do. But let's see who's in the house, and we're going to rip into this, people. Now, we're going to start off with a little bit of Bullhorn Betty and her fuckery. This lady has been out of control lately. She's on one. This lady is all the way in love with JLR, and it's seeping out of her pores on YouTube streams. It's seeping out of her pores. Now, she is a wet brain. I do know this. I have drank with her. If you buy her 2 beers, allegedly and hypothetically for educational purposes, you could put it right in her butt. I'm telling you. Okay. Now, that's not from personal experience, but I'm just, I've been around the game a little bit, people. I've been around for a little bit. But this lady she's in love with JLR. It's coming out everywhere on the YouTube streets, but she has announced as of lately that she has a protest that she'll be doing. Matter of factly, she will be attending the protest here. She's going back up to Tennessee. Now, here's the deal. Well, first off, I shared this today. This lady literally made a video that says, law enforcement knew Summer Wells died 9 days after she disappeared.
What?
That would be from Bullhorn Betty, people.
She said what?
I'll repeat it. This was her title of her live. Law enforcement knew Summer Wells died 9 days after she disappeared. What a complete scumbag, a piece of shit this lady is.
Why is she the only one that knows this?
This is old. Shout out to Bert Toast for finding this. However, what I'm talking about is this. This is coming to us via Blank Screen. Shout out to Blank Screen as he shared this on his community wall. This is from Bullhorn Betty, and it says, people are willfully and intentionally and with malice perpetrating and stating, I'm going to protest at St. Jude's. That could be further from the truth. And people are lying to you for clicks and views. Whoever it is telling you this stuff, please unsubscribe from their channel. They're trying to incite their audience. If anybody has been watching me for any significant time, I'm going to completely different type of situation. When I go to protest, you know I'm going to protest because I reach out to law enforcement to make sure that they're there for the protest. That's absolutely a lie. I have been a part of one of these said protests. That's not what she does. Complete lie. But moving forward, this has not happened. However, I am working on a protest for the Layla Santinello case. If anybody has a problem with that, that's their problem to have, not mine. And again, I will be reaching out to whom I need to reach out to when I coordinate the protest. Blah, blah, blah. For two beers, you can put it in my ass. Blah, blah, blah. I'm a Karen. Blah, blah, blah. Here's the deal, people. Here's the deal. We are friends with Candace Wells. Many know that in the community. If you don't remember, when I went to, let's put this on the screen just to refresh some memories. When I went to Tennessee, do I have it here? Don't have it. Okay. Don't have the picture. Anyway, when I went to Tennessee, we went to a missing person event for Summer Wells. It's the one where we're sitting around. I have it. I just don't have it.
Yeah, I do.
The one where we're sitting at the table with Jenkies and everybody.
The whole table?
Yeah, send it to my Twitter.
Ow,
When we went to Tennessee, we attended a missing person event, and Layla Santinello's family was there. Actually, I got to meet her grandmother. But beyond that, Candace Wells is friends with Layla's family. I will do this is a promise to the community. I will do everything in my power. Well, I already have to notify Candace that this is going to happen. Now, with the Layla Santinello case, I am unsure. I'm not following it very deeply. I don't have all the facts. There's some shenanigans there. There's some shenanigans from what I see via SF Investigates on Twitter. And I don't know all the facts. Okay. I can't tell you too much about it. I don't want to put misinformation out. But does the family deserve peace? 100%. Is this Karen going to go up there and bother them? Probably. But will I throw a monkey wrench or do whatever in my power to stop that or to eliminate it? Abso-fucking-lutely. Abso-fucking-lutely. Let's get to the comments before we get into Jennifer Coffindaffer and her horrendous stream where she completely contradicts herself as former law enforcement, which makes us puke in our mouth. But it also gives us so much more respect for the duty Rons, for the real law enforcement on YouTube, for the real law enforcement in missing children cases and search and rescue teams, the non-clickbait, the non-clout chasing ex-law enforcement. We have to have respect for them. But I don't have any respect for Jennifer Coffindaffer, and I do not have any respect for Chris McDonough at all. At all. And I'm merely saying that on their past behavior or their past lawsuits or what they present here to us. And we're going to review it. Oh, we're going to review it because these people have large followings and what they say has a lot to do with the cases they talk about. But I'm blabbing and I have to get to my people. What's happening? 250 in the house. Let's get a like or two, can we? Can we hit the like? I appreciate it. What's up, Miss Trudy? How are you? What is cracking? Queen of what's going on with you, Queen? What's happening? Lisa, is this who's this that you speak about? Miss Innocent Until Proven Guilty, one of my favorite names on YouTube, something that I stand behind and go by, and a big supporter in exactly what her name is about. It's not Tim Mullins. What's up, Mimi? How are you? We got Natasha is in the house. We got Lisa K. Something to say. Check her channel out. She does good information, not misinformation. I enjoy her debunking a lot of the Summer Wells rumors. Does a great job at that, and I appreciate anybody who's karate chopping misinfo when it comes to Little Summer. I really do. Dolly Datman. She has been poking around with the Karen Reed case as well. In my opinion, Commonwealth only proving what, I haven't really been paying too much attention to the Karen Reed case. It's all over social media. Leave it in the comments here, guys, or if you watch this rewind, do you think Karen Reed is innocent or guilty? I would like to know. I don't. What's up, Mr. Skunk? What's happening? Skunk of 8 Mysteries in the house. My buddy, Skunk. What's cracking, man? Sound the silence. How are you? Charlene, how are you, Miss Charlene? Dill Pickles in the house. Miss Joanne has joined us. What's happening? So for 2 years.
Mama! I love you.
We have Whisper right here near us. Oh, you heard Whisper bark. I get you. Mimi. Okay. So, guys, look, what I'm going to play right now is about 20 minutes of complete fuck shit. Okay. When I play these clips with you guys, I stop them. I put my commentary on it. So there comes a point we're going to review Miss Coffindaffur's last stream, and it's bad. It's bad. But the ultimate contradictions, you have to love them. So just stick with me. And then we're going to have some fucking laughs when it comes to this grifter here. Now, if you're in the chat, I'm going to go ahead and give a prize out tonight. I'm going to give a prize. Who would like a 3-month? Now, I'm going to give 90-day subscription to Cher's life coaching class.
Oh, God.
Now, if you would like for me to pay for Cher's life coaching skills, just put a 1 in the chat, and I'm gonna go. What we're gonna do is give a 90-day subscription, okay, to Cher's life coaching classes, where she'll teach you how to, get good tattoos and good placement on the tattoos. So let me know about that in the chat. But let's get these ass cheeks off the screen. Where's the button at? Jesus Christ. I'm sorry for that, actually. I'm sorry for that. Who else is in here? We have Miss Aaron. How are you, Miss Aaron? Heard it on the X. I did learn how to sit in church after the disgraceful attendance in church. Interesting. Juicy Jules, Cyber Ninja. We got people in the bushes. Shout out to my bush people.
Yo, bush people.
My bush people who aren't haters. They just don't like to comment and stuff, or they don't want to get involved in commenting, or whatever the good bush people are that attend. Salute to you. For the haters, look, I appreciate you. You're here. You're watching. I can't get mad at you.
You're helping us.
But you can suck something long and black. Now, it could be a radiator hose, or it could be something different. I'm not sure what it is.
A vacuum hose?
It might be a magic marker. It is long and black, and you can suck on it. I don't know what it is though. It's like a whodunit. It's like a mystery. It's like a little bit of a true crime puzzle, if you will. So anyway, that's what you can suck on for the haters. But we're gonna jump into this Coffindaffur shenanigan stream. Okay, I will put this link in the chat for your viewing pleasure. But what I want, let's start this thing off. Now, if you're not aware of who this is, that's okay. I'm gonna get you all caught up tonight. I've covered all grounds here. We got it going on. Somebody's asking questions about something long and black. I can't help you with that. I don't know what it is.
It's a vacuum hose.
Okay, I don't know what it is. Okay, but let's have a listen, shall we, of this moron here. Now, if you haven't seen this lady before, get ready for a little bit of. It's like a Karen, yeast infection, menopause, all mushed into one little like jamboree. Look at the face on the screen. Okay, so let me give you an introduction of this Karen. Okay, this FBI Karen. Okay, let's have a listen. I'll let her introduce herself to you for the people who don't know her.
Focus on some missing that are either in the news right now or that, quite frankly, I'm seeing through from beginning to end. I'm looking over there at chat, and I have to be honest with you. Ever since I turned
That's gross, but I love it.
a particular age, it's kind of old. I cannot see up close anymore. That's why I have to wear my readers. So I'm going to be addressing the chat. I also wanted to say, to get your questions and feedback, but I just love seeing all these.
Who's in here? The Glaire's in here. What's going on?
What's wrong with the glare?
Nothing's wrong with him, but somebody says hello, the Glaire.
How do you do, Mr. Glare?
I don't see Glaire in my StreamYards, but if he's in here, hello. I know that he covers this lady, and that's good because she's a piece of fucking shit, people. And here we go, okay? So I'm going to let her introduce herself, and then I'm going to fast forward it until what she says about Don. And then it's interesting because she talks about something that I always talk about with the Summer Wells case. So all the haters in the bushes, while you're sucking on that thing that's
5 free memberships and fish them out.
while you're figuring out that thing to suck that's long and black, I want you to really pay attention to the part where an FBI agent is actually saying something that I always say about this case. And then she talks about the clown show of the Sebastian Rogers case. Isn't that funny? Because you do the same thing to the Summer Wells case with this lady's following and everything else. But let's hear her out. If you don't know her, get used to let her introduce herself.
Icons up there. So thank you so much for being particularly on the John O'Keefe case. And there may only be 7, to get your questions and feedback, but I just love seeing all the, particularly on the John O'Keefe, read different people's views. And I'm like, oh God, that's a good point. That's something to think about. Oh, that's exactly, right on point, whatever it might be. So anyway, there's STS, it's a podcast, and I think they say best guess. I'm going to say our show has the best people in chat.
Bullshit.
All right, I said, all right, we're going to move on because I like to get through these quickly. I know it's really important to get down to business, so we're going to do that. I want to start out with Maya Tuckerud. Now,
Okay.
For those who
So I'm going to fast forward here. I'll put this link in the chat. We're going to go to 15 minutes in where she's speaking on the Caleb Harris case and how TikTok Tony doesn't work for the family anymore because of Seth in the Sebastian Rogers case. And she actually, allegedly, she says that she reached out to the Caleb Harris family, the father, and the father told her about TikTok Tony, the guy with his penis out. Okay. Now let's get there. Okay. We're going to 15 minutes. I'll put this in the chat. Give me a second. So we're going to 15 minutes, people. Here, listen to it.
normally say, and that could lead to a positive lead that really could be fruitful. But as it is right now, things are status quo.
What's up, Blair? What's happening?
Unfortunately, there's nothing that's been released this week. There will be another meeting this week.
Who is this? Do you have heard it on X? Lady, yeah, I have a 401k. I don't know if that's a dig or what you're trying to ask me, but if you're trying to like be slick, if you email me at whiteboylockdownradio@yahoo.com, we could put our 401k against each other and see who's been working longer, who has more equity, however you want to do. If you want to put the deeds up against each other, this is my house. I'm not an unemployed YouTuber on disability. No, I don't go live every single day, every hour. So I don't know what that is. It's tough with comments sometimes. Sometimes it's probably a good comment. Maybe I'm overdoing it, or maybe I'm not understanding it right. So people, listen, if you're watching this live, replay, whatever, you got to be very blunt with the comments, because sometimes, man, as a creator around here, you take the comment the wrong way and you'll go way on left field. And it's not that you're being a dick or something. When you're answering comments, there's so many people who take shots at you. So you're kind of like ultimately like always like the defensive, if that makes sense. It's probably a bad habit and something like should stop. And maybe it's just me that does it, but I'm just explaining what's happening in real time. So don't get mad at the truth or the realness. But let's get back to this coffin doofus lady.
I love it. Glare, that's all.
I've personally spoke with law enforcement. I know they really, really care.
Claire's been coming here for a long time.
Harris case.
Claire, have you seen this?
FBI, who's intricately involved.
I'm going to get to it fast. Claire, won't be long. But if you haven't seen this, let me put it in the chat. Huh? I'll drop the link for him. No problem. This lady, literally, with her following on Twitter, I wouldn't say her YouTube presence is big. Listen, she's got almost 15. What does she have? Let me go back there. She's got 14,000 subs. Okay. This lady is saying that Don not only essayed Summer, okay, but she's also saying that Candace lied in her story. And I've never even heard the shit that she's accusing Candace to say. She's trying to say that Candace is saying that somebody came inside the house and apparently took Summer from her bedroom and then left. Like I haven't watched every Summer Wells video on YouTube, but I've never heard that one.
Got past the children.
Yeah, that's never been that's not a theory that I'm aware of. I could be wrong, but I've never heard the Wells say that. I've never heard that in an interview. I've never even heard a YouTuber that hates the Wells say that. It's always been outside the house. So where is this lady getting her information from? I'll drop this. I'll drop this for what it's worth. But let's get back to this moron. Now listen to what she says, people.
Secret Service is involved from the standpoint of they'll do a particular task, which they've already done concerning cell phone digital retrieval of evidence. There was a lot of problems with subpoenaed information that went out that took weeks to return. I mean, I don't know. Maybe I was just such a squeaky wheel as an agent. I mean, I'm telling you, I had those the people that actually worked in whatever it was, AT&T, T-Mobile, on speed dial, not the supervisors or this and that, but the person who actually, presses a few buttons and gets the machine to spit out a week's worth of data. That's literally how easy it is. But
all right, so with the Miss Menopause, what she says now I can appreciate, because I've been telling these people who make all the Summer Wells anti-Don and Candace videos and that make up these ridiculous theories, you don't need me to tell you that they've been on the internet wasted drunk. They've been arguing on panels. They've done a lot of shit that they probably should not have done on live streams. They've done. Not only have they been wasted and argued and been on lives and not slipped up on this big outsmarting FBI agents and whatnot. Not only have they done that, but I've been telling people for months, these clout chasers that attack Don and Candace every single live stream, it's stupid, because this is the only thing I agree with her. They have the data. And here's an FBI agent, even though I don't like her, that literally is telling you what she would do as an agent. She's saying that's exactly what she would do and go to the Wells data. It makes no sense. Jennifer Coffindaffer is more consistently wrong than Bullhorn Betty. I did not know that was possible. Jesus Christ. People, this is the first to me. I've seen some creators cover her, actually just really the Glare. And I think one more. Didn't know that, Glare. That is insanity, and that's good to know. On that, I went back on her channel and I tried to see what Summer Wells videos she did, because I know she's been like on Twitter a long time, but she hasn't. I don't know. Her YouTube channel's not that it's not that old, and there's not too much information there. Thank you, Glare. By the way, thank you for the $9.99. But that's interesting. That's it. It's very interesting. The Glare has ripped her a new ass. So if that's even possible, it's kind of gross to even say as I'm looking at her with that fucking yellow sweater on, but or whatever it is. But he's been covering her shenanigans on the Wells case as well. So I'll have to jump over there for this live ends and drop the link. But here, let's go back to this nonsense here. Then I'm going to jump to the 20-minute mark where she starts talking about.
But in any event, they had a lot going on. There was a lot that was delayed in terms of those records.
21-20.
I feel like that case is just.
Okay, brace yourself. Trigger warning. Now, I want people to remember before this plays out. This lady is former law enforcement, man. So in my eyes, after hearing this lady is no better. I'm seeing what Glare is saying, and I've already heard this. So I don't want to say she's worse than Chris McDonough. I don't know where to put her. It just makes you appreciate a Duty Ron so much more, or any real people who are ex-law enforcement on here that are not clout chasing, tragedy pimping, and clickbaiting. Brace yourself to what she's about to say about Don Wells and Candace Wells. Keep in mind, she's got 14,000 on YouTube, but she's got a shitload of followers on Twitter. A shitload. I'll tell you that number here in a minute. Brace yourself. Trigger warning. Karen, menopause, yeast infection, warning.
That's like my favorite thing ever.
Summer Wells. Summer Wells went missing, and
I'll tell you how much she's
for it recently, TBI, because it's an anniversary situation, came out with a statement, that they basically haven't found anything in terms of her abduction and that she might have walked away. I just call baloney on all of that. I've been very vocal about this case from the beginning. I looked at the 5-month mark.
85,000 followers
Brian
on Twitter.
Inton went
Keep in mind, she shares all her YouTube stuff over there.
Her house.
So we're talking
went to that
100,000 combined.
Talked to
followers,
the
people.
sheriff's office, talked to TBI. You know what? Back then they said, listen, we don't have anything. I mean, unless something comes in, we're not working it. I posted on my Twitter, the lead investigator saying exactly that. Case is cold meaning I'm not out there, working it on a daily basis. If something comes in, I'll run it down. But it's basically completely cold. And this will always be my belief. Candace, Grandis, and Don Wells know what happened to that little girl. I want to just go through Candace's statements, 3 of Candace's statements.
Very important, y'all. Listen to her statements and her information. And you know what's interesting? As she's telling you about all this bullshit, where is she sourcing the information from? Take a wild guess where she's getting her info from what she's about to say. Whoever said YouTube, internet high five. An ex-FBI agent is referring to you what creators have people. Trigger warning.
1, I was taking a walk when she disappeared. 2, I dropped her off at the house. We were at Grandis's house planting plants. I remember taking a picture of the pot, that they were supposedly planting in. None of it added up. And she got a candy from Grandis. And then this part was the part that was really a kicker for me. I walked her from Grandis, who's on their property, to their main house. Listen, that girl ran around. There's so many pictures of her. She didn't need walked from one house to another. I told the boys, I love this too. I told the boys to watch her. This just wasn't that kind of environment, in my opinion. And I base that on the fact, the condition of the house, which we all saw the interior of the house,
All right. So a couple things real fast thus far. She's basing the house and all her information on the other piece of shit, ex law enforcement, Chris McDonough. Okay. This guy said there was porn playing. Okay. What a crock of shit. Here's a ringer for anybody who, I don't know, wants some common sense in their life. When I was at the Wells, I can't get stable internet, okay, on the phone to go live. Okay, this lady will tell you that they are channeling in and streaming, every porn station available and just free cable. That's complete fuckery. Okay, but she's getting her info from Chris McDonough for one. All right, listen to the holes in her story.
Combined with the fact that children were removed from CPS by and I think there it's not called CPS.
All right, one more thing. I skipped through this. I put the link in the chat. I'll do it again in a minute. She's got a really bad. She is really hard on people who have drug addictions in their life. She's talking about meth. I'll actually rewind it after this is done. She's talking about like people she's dealt with and as an agent, people who were on meth, and she's telling stories about that. She's talking about the Caleb Harris case, and she's talking about the another case before this, but there was drug addiction and what she has like no sympathy. She has no understanding about someone or anyone who's been, had to go down that lane in life. I'm not justifying that it's okay for a parent to be on drugs or anything. I'm not saying that. But what I'm saying is if you listen to the whole stream here, and it's not long, it's only 45 minutes, you'll get to have your own like view of her and how she views people. And it's very like cop-like. It's very cop-like. You know what I mean? She doesn't understand, like she just doesn't get it. And I say that like very loosely. I don't want people to think that I'm sticking up for parents that use or anything like that. It's not what I'm saying. This lady, at one point, she is saying, she's about to say it, that she reached out to the investigators in this case and asked them what's going on, this and that, can I help? And then like as she talks and doesn't understand what the hell she just said, she then later literally says that, oh, and by the way, Ronnie Lawson's son is a sex offender and this is massive corruption. You can't call them and ask them to work or if you can assist and this and that, and then at the same time turn around and say that there's corruption there, like the dirt. She gets caught in her own fuckery, people. But this is like shenanigan cops at its finest.
So forgive me if I said the wrong name, but in Tennessee, basically their Child Protective Services Division came in and took those boys out by the grace of God. So they were out of there. But anyway, she also made up that contention. Candace has never kept her story straight. She said that intruders came in, as I recall. And I hope we hear from somebody in chat that might recall this with me. There was a couch in front of that door that's down low, that's exited, that's, they could have came in through there. Have you seen that house? When you look at the grounds and everything, there were dogs everywhere, like barking, dogs that you would never go up to a house like this. And
okay, this pisses me off because when I went to Tennessee, I had morons saying the same thing. I'm on the roof of Don's house and you could hear dogs. There's a couple of videos I shoot while I'm there and you could hear dogs in the background. I have news for anybody watching this. You're in the mountains. You always hear, you're just going to hear it. It echoes everywhere. It doesn't mean that at 110 Ben Hill Road, there's 9,000 dogs. No. When I was there, you could hear dogs in the videos, but there's zero there. Matter of fact, some assholes on this platform, for some sick and weird and demented reason, feel like that Candace and Don are not allowed to have pets. And if you don't know this, know it now. What they do is every time they find out that they have dogs, they call the animal control up there, or they call the pet place or whatever the hell it is, and they get the dogs taken away. Like, you have to have a lot of hate in your heart to do some weird shit like that. Like, let them people have something to, you know, look forward to coming home and attaching to. Let them people have a dog. But these people watch these YouTube videos and they get these theories in their mind. But what I'm saying is, Don and Candace had 0 dogs on their property, and they had a lot of property up the hill, down the hill. There's no dogs. But on any video that I record that you see me there, on every single one, you're going to hear multiple dogs. It's the mountains, people. It's the mountains. But here she goes with her bullshit. But let's continue.
And not worried that you would be in peril just from dogs. It's wooded, difficult. So there's no chance, in my opinion, that a stranger abduction occurred here, that somebody just happened onto that property, somehow got past the dogs, somehow got in the door that was blocked by the couch, and somehow just happened to know that Summer Wells was going to be down in the basement. That is a no-go for me. It didn't happen. I'm not believing it. If it ended up that it happened, we could discuss that. I know some people have brought up, well, listen, this happened in this case and it happened in this case. There's a few rare things. This is the difference between those cases that you're referring to. Those cases didn't have parents that were addicts, that had multiple domestic violent police reports called in on them for their actions. This is a case where
all right, real fast in the chat. Where's the multiple? This is so I don't know if this is true or not. So I'm asking you guys, where's the multiple domestic violence reports called in on Don and Candace? Here's why I don't believe this. Andy, where Jody Sue used to live, right, is like directly across from Don and Candace's. There's nothing that, and this is why, Jody Sue, don't get mad when I say this, but if Jody Sue and Andy were literally killing each other, okay, I could not hear anything going on in their house. Okay, don't get mad, Jody Sue. This is why I made the video of.
It's the damn truth.
Yeah, did she hear the scream or not? You people, you cannot hear what is going on in Jody Sue's house from the inside of Don and Candace's house. It's just not happening, people. It's just not. I don't care what you say or who you follow, or I don't care. I've been there. It's just not happening, and vice versa, or whatever, and any other neighbor. It's not like your regular flat terrain. It's not like your suburban neighborhood. It's none of that. It's none of that. Well, now, there's a comment. There's a comment I want to get to. Northern Wisconsin girl. If she says, if you go back and look at Chris's video when he was there, you can see porn on the TV when he's going down the stairs. So here's what I want to do. I'm going to give you 3 options. A, please hit the link that I dropped, which you're not going to do. B, I highly doubt what you're saying. But C, if what you're saying is true, hypothetically, and for educational purposes, everybody on YouTube, if what you're saying is true, could go over to that channel and report it for porn. And then what happened is it would go bye-bye. So if you could just pick A through C, I'd appreciate it. I feel like you have a lot to say.
Don Wells tried to sell his children for drugs. We know that because there is testimony of that. From
what in the fuck is this lady talking about? This lady just said ex-FBI agent Don Wells tried to sell his kids for drugs. What? Oh, it gets better.
His sister. This is a situation where Don Wells is accused of sexually molesting a little girl, a young girl, I should say. This is a case of individuals that I believe are highly suspect in their treatment of their other children. Thus, they don't have any.
How do you say what you just said as fact, and then after the fact say, "Oh, I believe"? You can't do that, lady. You have 100,000 eyeballs following you, menopause. You're not allowed. And I'm going to tag you on this on Twitter, and you're going to ignore it. But you've commented to me before on your own post. See, I completely set you up for this. So I know that you've seen me before, and I know that you've engaged and interacted with me before. So when I tag you, which is not like anything else we've done before, I've just commented on your post, and you've engaged and interacted with me. So I know that you read the comments. I know that you see. I know that you'll answer back. Don't act like you're not going to see this on Twitter. Matter of fact, we're live streaming on Twitter right now. People, comments. Does anybody have any facts, proof, evidence, receipts on anything she said thus far regarding Dawn Wells?
I have proof that everything she said is bullshit.
Yep.
Of their children back in the statements that they made afterwards. Listen, I listened to a recording of Dawn Wells where he says, when she disappeared, we were, however many feet away. He used the word we.
So she listened to a recording, people. Guess where that came from? The YouTube streets. You got an FBI agent, an ex-FBI agent out here. Like, let me paint the picture, right? Let me paint the picture because I really want to, and this is just so awesome for me to say this at this point. Like, what if that was my recording, right? Just imagine. An ex-FBI agent is listening to an ex-convict's recording about Dawn Wells. She has no idea. She's so menopausal, emotional, and not understanding the full grasp of social media that she just jumped on she don't know who put that shit out. It could have been people, this community. And if it was somebody who doesn't like Don and Candace, you already know the players. But she's like gripping and crutching to this like it's just factual. This is an ex-FBI agent, people. Let's continue.
She's a bullshit artist,
to say the least.
And it was a spontaneous utterance. In the Bureau, as an investigator,
also, Don always
hear
says
spontaneous utterances
about him and Candace.
I know that is a clue that they're telling the truth. When people are initially confronted on crimes, they tend to say truthful statements. When they don't have lawyers around, when they're not thinking about it, when they haven't really had time to process everything.
Lone Star. So that's it. Okay. Lone Star says it wasn't porn. It was like one of those Girls Gone Wild type commercials.
Yeah.
You can see, but it's not porn. You can see nipples or crap like that. So you're saying basically the G-rated, whatever they can get. If it's a commercial, the company paid airtime for a commercial, so they can't be showing parts that aren't allowed. It's an advertisement. They had to pay for it. It can't be dirty and nudity.
They have regular plain old cable. They have nothing fancy.
Yeah, exactly. They have none. I mean, I had to hook up the cameras and shit when I was there. It's crazy to me to argue with people who will tell you, like, let's go back to the dogs. There's people all on the internet that will literally argue me that there's 1,000 dogs at 110 Ben Hill. I'm sorry, there's not even one. I mean, if I make a video there, you can hear a bunch. It doesn't mean that they're there. But these people, and it's people like Chris McDonough. It's people like this asshole here. It's people like this one, and this one. Let's just roll from the bottom, shall we? These are the people that will get these people to just listen and believe all types of bullshit. And it's sad, man. It's misinformation. It's not right.
There you go, Miss Daisy at the bottom.
What's up, Miss
Maybe
Daisy?
you could just highlight her picture.
I'm coming right.
I'm sorry.
I'm coming now, Miss Daisy. Let me just get through these trashy pimp list I got here. It's people like this that literally put it. This lady says she talks to Ted Bundy, the dead serial killer, but he'll tell you about Summer Wells, and people go for it and donate. And guess what? This one's a life coach too, same as this one. It's out of control. This one was getting beat up by her husband, unfortunately, and wrote a letter to the judge. Wrote a letter to the judge and says, hey, please let my abuser husband get a bond, because what had happened is I'm an advocate and I bring awareness for Summer Wells. And attaches a photo. Lady, all you do is bash the parents. If the judge only knew what your husband did to you, you verbally do to them. It's bullshit people like this that put out this misinformation. People crutch to it. Oh, porn. Oh, dogs. It's idiots, man. It's idiots. Let me go to Miss Daisy. And I'm missing a lot.
Had a great comment.
I'm coming, Miss Daisy. There you are. Is that it? Don's Children's loves him. Was that one? Don has never said anything dirty around me. Gotcha. All right, let's hear it out. I'm going to drop this link in the chat one more time, people.
That's what he said. I know he was supposed to be at work. I know that's supposedly what is purported to be the truth. I'm just telling you what Don Wells said.
Supposed to be at work, and that was supposed to be reported the truth. No, that was actually reported the truth. He's got alibis at work. Look at that face. Look at that face. We got a constipated yeast infection now. Look at that face.
All sorts of problems with his statements. If you listen, and it's brutal. I did it back then.
Here's the link, people, for your viewing pleasure.
But
check it out.
Everything they came out and said on YouTube, private, it is unbelievable, the statements they made. And I really, if you want to watch something on the Wells, please watch their first interview. This is the one where Candace has very short hair. I believe she's in a purple shirt. She's in a tank top.
All right, guys, what is she talking about right here? Whose channel is she talking about? Because I was listening to this earlier at work before I did this live. What's the first interview that they did? I can't even remember it. She says that Candace looks young. She's got short hair. Apparently, Candace is in a purple shirt. If you guys know what she's talking about, please let me know. I'll actually play it.
I remember the color being
so we can
purple
compare
for some
notes.
reason. And she's sitting there with Dawn. I should say this is the first one with Dawn and Candace, because for a while, Dawn came out and said some different things. And, you know, he was with his sons and at least one of his sons and one. But I'm talking about the one with Candace. She's definitely, in my opinion, from my experience, completely drugged out. And she's just like, oh, you know, I guess a stranger must have taken her. I mean, just definitely definitely highly medicated. Look at what Dawn wrote, what Dawn said early on, her being dead, her being in heaven, her being gone. These are statements and admissions that people make, in my opinion, when they know what happened to their child and they know their child isn't here anymore.
Don, when he says that, he's referring if somebody has his child. What do you expect out of this guy? Okay. First off, if you don't have any clarity about where your missing child is, right? If your child's missing and you have no answers, unfortunately, the police are not giving you much feedback. Your child's missing. Look, I'm asking not you, the viewer right now, what you saw on YouTube. I'm asking you, what would you do? You know what I would do? I'd probably hit the bottle. I'd probably try to numb it if I was getting zero answers. I'm not going to sit up here and lie to you. Look, I don't know how I would handle that. And I hope I never have to deal with it or figure it out. But God forbid anybody to judge me if I did hit the bottle. My kid is missing and no one's helping. I'm getting no answers and I'm getting attacked. Who gives a fuck if they hit the bottle? We all seen it. They did hit the, who cares? Hey man, their kid is missing. Who cares? Okay, some people will say, oh, that's not right, white boy. They should be strong, this and that. Hey man, hey, that shit sounds good. It sounds good. It sounds really good. I'm asking you though, what would you do? And if you're the person saying, that's not right, white boy, they should stay strong, they shouldn't do this, this and that. You not only have not been in that position, but you're expecting yourself to be like as strong as possible when, if put in that position, and you have no clue in all reality if that would break you, because you might just be smoking crack. Who knows how far you'll go to numb it. You can't tell me that you would be totally strong. I'm not saying that you wouldn't care. And I'm not saying that you care so much that you would remain strong. You don't know. I've seen grief where people have answers, where people's family members die and they have an answer, clarity. They have a reason. There's no question mark. They know exactly what happened. I've seen that change people 360. And they have a direct, there's no question mark. They know exactly what happened.
Absolutely.
And I've also seen the other family members, as they lose it and they go 360. This is personal experience I'm talking about. I've seen the family turn on each other, get all weird, intensifying the one person who is losing their strength. You can't tell me shit like that, man. You have no idea. If I'm being perfectly honest, Don and Candace, they didn't even go off. They didn't go off into a thing, really. Yeah, they drank a little bit. They were buzzed up on lives. Don was drunk as fuck a couple lives. I'm not going to lie. He said a few bad words. Who gives a shit? Who gives a flying shit? He said a few bad words. Man, come on, man. What would you do is my question. And if you're sitting there with your nose up in the air, all snotty, saying you'd be strong, this and that, bull, you have not a clue.
Bitch.
You have not a clue.
If it comes out that a stranger took her, I will own these statements I'm making right now and that I've consistently made since the minute she was abducted. You can watch on Marnie Hughes on News Nation. I have not deviated because the evidence hasn't deviated. It hasn't been strong enough, obviously, to make an arrest. But you know what has been strong enough to make an arrest? And I do not understand authorities. They did not arrest, the SO's office, the sheriff's office did not arrest Don and Candace for neglect and child endangerment in that house. So it was decided the children were in such poor care and in such a poor environment, they had to remove them. But
all right, chat, I'm not even going to correct this. I want you guys to tell me what's wrong with this. So she's mad that I don't know if she's expecting the TBI or the local county to run in and arrest Don and Candace for child endangerment charges. She seems to think, I don't know why, probably because she got her information from, wait for it, YouTube, Tragedy Pimp channels. She seems to think that the boys were taken before Summer went missing. So in her view, CPS was called, right? And they took the boys out of the house before Summer went missing. That's what she's saying, okay? And I don't know if I played over it or she hasn't said this or not yet, but this lady literally says that she'll take her words back, right? If it comes out that that it indeed did come out that somebody went up the hill on 110 and went in, opened Summer's bedroom door, took Summer out the house, and then left. To my recollection, I could be wrong. I'll be the first to tell you, I have not watched every Summer Wells video on YouTube because 80% of them are complete horse shit.
Amen.
But if I miss this, then that's my bad. But I've never heard, let me know in the comments, I've never heard anyone say that happened. It's always been outside the house. It's always been, did she walk away? Did someone take her? Did a neighbor get her? Did this happen? But it's never been inside the house. This lady is a lot of things, but she's ex-FBI agent with 100,000 followers on social media, telling all of her followers this complete bullshit. And we'll get to the comments here in a minute.
We're not going to make any charges. That is almost unheard of in my experience. Fired up about this case, you guys.
Oh, I bet you are.
And quite frankly, I see Sebastian Rogers go in the exact same trajectory. I pointed this out a long time ago. It's just something we're seeing. It's going in the same trajectory. But in Sebastian's case, I do at least think there's a chance he walked away. Sebastian.
All right. I want somebody to correct Pixie for me. I mean, I could say it. We're going to jump ahead to what she thinks of the Sebastian case, but Pixie seems to think, she says, why haven't they looked for her? You're referring to Don and Candace Wells. What's up, Miss Christina?
Candace still looks for her every day. Thank you.
Well, what she's asking is, why haven't they looked for her? Why didn't they go look for her?
They did, and they still do.
But they were told to what?
Parents are not allowed to go searching for their missing children for many reasons.
So Pixie,
they were ordered not to by the freaking law enforcement.
So Pixie, if your kid goes missing, right, and you're in the woods by yourself, right, we don't know what happened to your kid. Let's just say that you have a boy. Let's just say your boy is, I don't know, 9 years old, Pixie. So you're by yourself. You're missing 9-year-old, right? You're in the woods, and you find a Reebok shoe that you know that your 9-year-old boy wears, right? But you're not with a search group. You're not with law enforcement. You're not with anybody. You're by yourself, Pixie. But Pixie, but what you do, because you have all the answers, you pick the phone up and say, hey, Hawkins County, it's me, Pixie. I got Jimmy's Reebok here. It's his shoe size. Oh, I found it in the woods. Yeah. No, I don't really have any witnesses. No, I'm not with any. No law enforcement. But no, I'm telling you. No, I promise you. I found this. What would that look like to law enforcement, Pixie?
Like your ass found some.
If I was as judgmental as you were, Pixie, from the outside looking in, I would say Pixie has something to do with her child missing. Pixie may have even killed her child. And I believe Pixie went out there and put the size blank Reebok out by the bush. And I believe Pixie called the law enforcement to cover up, because that's exactly what you people do to the Wells. And that's exactly why not only Don and Candace were not allowed to search for Summer Wells, but if you've been paying any attention to the Sebastian Rogers case, if you've been paying any attention to it, Seth Rogers got caught in a lie. He's been saying he's been out there, boots on ground, this and that. And then there's a panel where Chris and Katie are talking, and Seth puts his foot in his own mouth. I'm not downing Seth, people. I'm just educating Pixie. But Seth says, I've been on boots on the ground, this and that. And what happens is on this live is Chris it admits that law enforcement told him that they're not allowed to search. And then Seth doubles back down, backtracks and says, oh, well, what happened is I drove by the areas. Again, I don't think Seth, Chris, or Katie is responsible for their missing son, Sebastian. I'm not throwing mud. I'm not bashing him. I'm just educating Pixie and any other moron that leaves this comment. Because the Summer Wells case, the Sebastian Rogers case, and any other case is the exact same thing. The law enforcement tells you not to do it. Now, could the parents still do it on the DL? Yeah,
Sure.
100%. Best comment I got out searching for Gabby Petito. I found a shirt. It was under some brush. I got a stick. I like pried it up with the stick. I showed the camera. I put it in a bag. I took it home. And I said, I'm going to send this to some type of DNA person. Somebody wrote me a paragraph. They're like, hey, man, that was really stupid. It was really stupid. And I'm only telling you on your behalf. Like, what if that was actually Brian Laundrie's? That you're technically tampering with evidence, white boy. I had to take it in. I had to understand it. And they were dead ass right. So Pixie, please stop. Because it's people like you who listen to people like this one on the screen, Chris McDonough, and every other tragedy pimp I put on the screen before, who repeat the same narrative, the same talking points, the same misinformation, the same disinformation, and you don't have your facts right. So
And let's not forget that if you are caught disobeying law enforcement's orders, they can and will arrest you.
So we're going to jump to 21 minutes and 20 seconds.
I don't know if you saw the text I sent you. I sent you two.
Actually, no, I'm sorry. 35 minutes. I'm going to jump right now. This is where she starts talking about the Sebastian Rogers case, Tony Rogers. This gets very interesting. Pay attention.
I don't know how to say this nicely.
Sure.
Worse than a circus. It is a hot mess with all the extracurricular stuff going on. It's just if parents want to know how to act when your child goes missing,
I got rid of that.
All right, so I agree with her on two things on this whole 45-minute stream. She said in her FBI working days as an agent, the first thing she would do is contact Verizon, contact this, contact that, and get the data ASAP. I've been talking about the Wells data forever because all these morons that hate the Wells and believe all these ridiculous conspiracy theories, you're allowed to believe whatever you want. You should be a free thinker, and you should never take what I say as fact. You should do your research. You should do your due diligence and look into things, right? But if you believe some YouTuber who's telling you things as fact and you repeat what they say, then you're a dummy because you haven't backed it up. You haven't verified it, right? These conspiracy theories, none of them make sense when the FBI has every device that they own, every phone, every tablet, every laptop. They've interviewed their boys. They have every GPS location, every text, every email, every phone call. They know everything about the Wells family. And it's not like a metropolitan area. It's the hillbilly mountains of Tennessee. So when the feds have their data, all of their data, even up to the point where I've shared that the feds still have a couple devices, laptops, I believe, and some other bogus shit that they took from the Wells that they've scrubbed the data on, and Don or Candace is free to go pick up and get their shit back. But it's so meaningless to Don and Candace, and there's so no information on it to the feds. Don's just like, I don't feel like driving way out there and getting it. But that's how much data the feds have of the Wells. And this lady said the first thing she would do would utilize those resources, right? So I agree with that. The next thing, and the only other thing I agree with this lady, is she's talking about how a family with a missing child should act on social media. And in this stream, we haven't played the whole thing, but she talks about the Caleb Harris case, the Sebastian Rogers case, a case that I'm not even familiar with, Mila something, and the Summer Wells case. And also, at the very end, the Gabby Petito case. And she's saying how a family should act on social media. So I agree with what she's saying right now in the data part, but that's it. But listen to this. This does make sense. Because remember, yours truly and wifey was out there in the Petito case. And if you've been following me that long, you remember watching the Petitos on the media, Seth Rogers and Chris and Katie on the media, Don Wells and Candace on the media. You remember watching all these families. And with that being said, if these families utilize social media to help them, we know about trashy pimps, especially ones in yellow jackets. So let's hear it.
This is my recommendation. You don't really need someone to tell you how to act.
Like TikTok Tony.
You don't. Oh, and somebody actually sent me on Twitter, basically an article regarding all the people trying to grift and trying to make money off of people that go missing and getting their names and you know, whether it's setting up a GoFundMe or otherwise using a missing person to help their situation, whether they're a private investigator, whether they're a person who represents missing people. When did that ever start, by the way? People who represent the families of missing people. I mean, I get if you have an attorney that does, but and I'm not saying anything bad. I'm not pointing the finger at anybody because I know that's how this is going to be taken. I know Riley Strains had a family friend. Obviously, Randy had a family friend try to help. And I can only imagine you're overwhelmed with the grief and the concern, and you're dealing with law enforcement. Your life's been turned upside down. You can't work. You're trying to find your child, and you just want somebody to handle what you should say to the media. This is my recommendation. Watch the Petitos, how they responded to Gabby Petito being gone. Just watch those first couple of press conferences. I'm not saying everybody acts alike, but I'm saying if you want to garner help from...
I totally agree with this statement that she says. Back to Pixie. Pixie says, if y'all know, if you YouTube true crime specialists were so good at this, where is she? Y'all get on here and act like y'all know something when you don't know shit. Okay, Pixie, when have you witnessed a video of mine where I had some spectacular theory about the whereabouts of Summer Wells?
And why are you so
where have I ever said that I know the whereabouts of any missing child? You're joining a chat, writing Karen comments, not expecting to get called out. When I publicly call you out and use you as an example and make you feel it looked this big, just with facts, you're amping up the menstrual comments, you're amping up the Karen comments, you're amping up the yeast infection, and you're sounding even more stupid.
Like being proved wrong.
I don't want to block you, but I also don't want to take time from talking to my supporters.
Oh, let me.
So there's a fine line of like what to do with Pixie. So either like start making some sense.
Pixie has been given my email, and
Pixie-
I have offered multiple times for her to come on panel to discuss this with me on my channel. But instead of responding, she just keeps
That's never gonna happen.
shit talking in chat. So
That's never gonna happen. All right. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna jump up here to I want you to hear about what she says about Sebastian Rogers case. I think we're here already. 35 minutes. And yeah, let's listen to this lady.
Citizenry. If you want them to understand your situation, don't sling mud against your former partner. Don't sling mud against the parent
You
of
agree
the
with that?
child that's missing. Don't go on platforms that are there to stir up drama and histrionics and bring the.
Let me just take this comment real fast. Don't yell at me. I'm Pixie, and it doesn't matter if I'll suck something long and black. I enjoy to do this in my spare time, and you don't know true crime. Okay, Pixie, if you want to suck on things that are black, that's fine. Just don't be like, don't be saying things like that. Okay. All right, let's get back.
Worst out in you, and they're just hoping you say something juicy and scintillating. Don't do it. Don't do it. Stick with mainstream media.
Legacy media, 100%.
Start a YouTube channel of your own if you want, where you bring forth your child's situation. Go to trusted YouTubers and creators and platforms that that aren't, and they range from. And I speak to how Sebastian could walk out that door without being message out about his son. Should happen, and that aren't, and they range from horrible to
she's
more
getting the meat and potatoes right here,
so
people. We're almost done with Top and Doofus. Here's the end of it.
And Randy is doing a fabulous job, doing his best, being an honest father, just trying to get his message out about his son. So anyway, off that soapbox. Yes. Can I speak to how Sebastian could walk out that door without being seen? I mean, it's such a good question because, first of all, it was in the middle of the night. The cameras, it depends on the angles that you go out. But I mean, how did he get out in the middle of, it can have stealing him. No. It's the trash truck light. Supposedly had a flashlight, but this wasn't talking about self-defense and home protection and things. Whenever I teach my classes, I say, don't turn on your lights because now they can see on the street and so on and so forth. So maybe he didn't even. All right, let me see if I see anything else. Let's see. Let's see. To have everyone here. True, you can walk around. There's no absolute answer. I just know it's possible. Been turned upside down. You can't work. You really need someone to tell.
Here we go.
Say this nicely.
This is what I want to play. Here.
Worse than a circus. It is a hot mess with all the extracurricular stuff going on. It's just, if parents want to know.
So it was before the Gabby Petito monologue. People, look, it's interesting that she feels that what's being said in the Sebastian Rogers case is a circus. And it's interesting to know that there's a lot of shenanigans and like misinfo in the Sebastian Rogers case. Now, I don't disagree with her, but why and how does a person who sits up on a platform with 100,000 total followers tell her people that Don essayed Summer and some intruder came in the house, which nobody has said, and all this other shenanigan bullshit in the Summer Wells case? How do you put that out in the internet as fact, sit back and then get frustrated or get mad when you see the same behavior being done in a different case on social media was about you is frustrated as that lady is, or however she truly feels on the Sebastian Rogers case. Circus, she said. How does she not understand? That's exactly what she did in Summer's case. How? It's sick. She's wrong. She's a clout chasing ex-FBI agent who at once had a respectable job, but she's chasing clicks and views, people. And that's it. She talks about grifters. She ain't no better. All right. So I'm done with Coffindaffer. I'll drop the link again. I'm going to catch up on some comments. But this next part I want to share with you guys happens to be just that. Cher. Now, Cher needs no introduction. Cher happens to be a creator who has abused animals in the past. Her father went to prison because he himself burnt down a house with a little child in it and adults. And he was in the bushes watching. But Cher, after she did the animal cruelty stuff, she took off to a different country, left her kids in a different country as well, and so on and so on. Many of you know this basic information that we've repeated and said on the YouTube streets. This would be her ass cheeks. She sent to Don Wells in a form of trying to get information out of Don. This would be her husband, who is okay with said tattoo pictures being sent. But Cher is a special one here on YouTube. She's a very special one on YouTube. But anybody who knows who Cher is knows of her for what? Bashing the Wells. About their situation, about what they got going on with CPS. I found an oldie goldie today that I would love to share with you guys. And that's what we're going to do exactly right now. So if you know who Voices Behind My Balls is, if you know who Cher is,
oh my
and
God,
you know about her behavior,
behind your balls all night long when you sleep.
You know about her behavior. I really don't think a lot of you have seen this or heard this. This comes way of us of couch clips. I will absolutely leave this in the description box for you to subscribe to. Okay. I want you guys to hear Cher. Now, Cher, earlier in the stream, I was talking about the missing person event that I attended when I went up to Tennessee to see Donna Candace. This would be that event where I met, and me and the well met Layla Santinello's family. If I'm saying that last name wrong, I apologize, which I was talking about earlier in the stream with Bullhorn Betty. Anyway, Cher has, I don't understand how, I took notes on this, people. This is out of control. I never want to hear her say another word of Chris and Katie Proudfoot or Don and Candace Wells ever again. It's this bad. It's literally this bad. Let's have a look, shall we? Let's have a listen, shall we? Subscribe to Couch Clips. Put that in the chat now. Okay, wait. There's so many shenanigans already off the rip. So she's talking about the boys, meaning Don and Candace Wells boys.
Look at that meth look on her face. Her eyes wide open.
She on this literally 2-minute video, what you're going to hear is Cher admit to this. On this 2-minute video, you're going to hear Cher. Voices Behind My Balls. You're going to hear her say that she's been kidnapped multiple times. Cher speaks on the Wells boys and it being concerning. She talks about her dad goes, when her dad goes to jail, her mom has all types of men in and out the house. How her own grandma used to not allow her to use the bathroom, abuse her, tie her up in the kitchen, and she'd have to beg to use the bathroom. Her grandma would have beat her and abused her. So somebody had to kidnap Cher away from her mother's house and do a fake CPS report, faking CPS out for her to go live with her father, only for her father to go back to prison for burning a house down with a minor child in it while 2 adults died and he was in the bushes looking. People, this is factual information, and don't take my word for it. Please do not take my word for it. Cher's about to tell you all this herself. But I want the comment, people, if you watch this live, if you're watching the replay, what in God's glory, what in the name of Jesus H. Christ does this lady have the balls? Have the balls to talk about Don and Candace's boys being taken away from CPS when she's admitting to everything I just said? Don't forget to get your life coach lessons from Cher from a mere $19.99. For an $18.67, you can get the lady parts trained to take care of her crotch rot.
Oh, she didn't like that.
Rapper, listen up, people. Okay, little Dev, you get corrected. Little Dev, the little Dev is evidently a moron at this point. Moron Little Dev says Cher's picture has already out there on one of her Facebooks before she sent it to Don. Put a 1 in the chat if you were present in the chat when I debunked this and I proved that 13 years ago, matter of fact, I'll put it on the screen. I believe it's up. I believe I have it right here. 13 years ago, Cher posted the monster ass tattoos. Unfortunately, moron Little Dev, within a year ago, they were sent to Don Wells. See, where the lie comes in is she claims that before, recently, and like right before she sent them to Don, she posted them on social media. I call it shenanigans because we can go on our social and we can scroll and see if she did. And people like you who just listen blindly with 0 receipts, you weren't like, well, white boy, here it is on this date. She posted them, proving that it was in the time frame of before she sent them to Don. No, none of you did that because she's a creator who has 0 receipts, 0 proof, 0 evidence, shows you nothing. But I debunked it and proved on a few streams from here that it was 12 to 13 years ago she did that. So what in reality happened, Moron Dev, is she was going through her old stuff. Like nobody has the time to go back 12 years, right? Evidently, I don't know what she was doing. Maybe they were saved in her gallery. She felt that her ass 12 years ago was in good enough shape to possibly, in her small-brained mind, thought that her 12 or 13-year-old ass cheeks would gosh darn it, that would get Don to tell on himself. Those ass cheeks it would actually be the trick to Don Wells telling her exactly what happened with Summer Wells. See, you watch creators that don't bring. I'm done with little dev people. I'm going to give her a timeout for following people with no receipts. I'll be right back. Please listen to this moron momentarily.
Oh, skin.
I'm not even sure if this is legal, what she's admitting to, if this is true. If you have any common sense in your head and you actually know who Cher is and you've watched her channel, and if you're watching my channel or you support me, then you already know this story is complete bullshit, right? But let's play devil's advocate on this one, right? Let's take Cher at her word for once, right? Let's believe all this is just 100%
No
factual.
volume, someone said.
Oh, on the video?
I don't know. Someone just said right now, no volume.
Hold on. What about now? Is it good now? Volume good? Volume good. Volume check. Volume check. Volume check. No sound. I mean, LOL. I could hear it on the phone over here. On the video, there's no sound.
I hear you, not your share.
Okay, not a problem. Not a problem. We're going to replay it. So let me ask you this real fast, chat. On the video with Cher that we just played, how much of it would you say there was volume for half of it or none of it? One in the chat for you heard half of what I played, and two in the chat if you heard none of what I played. One for half, two for zero. It's a short video. We can do it right again. It's not a problem. Okay, cool. So I'll pick it up at half. Okay, so what I'm getting at, people, is this. Let's play devil's advocate. A lot of twos. So I'll rewind it back. We'll start again. This is a friend of the channel. They cover Cher and all her lies. I support Couch Clips. I'll drop the link multiple.
Very, very awesome person.
I'll drop it multiple times in the chat. I also support The Torch Spotlight, another great channel that covers Cher. This is a terrific time for me to promote. I have an upcoming parody of Cher and her crotch rot situation. I put the wig on. I got the tits out. I go full Cher. You don't see white boy with the shirt and the hat. I got the brown wig on. I got tits popping out. I go full Cher. I play the full part. So please, it'll be dropping this week. My parodies take time and thought. I try to make you guys laugh. Please click the video and watch it. Okay, my parodies, I take it serious. I try to make you guys smile and laugh because laughter is so important in life. But what's not funny is people who sit up here and ridicule and make fun of and bully and cyber harass families that are missing children, national missing person cases. They go live and ridicule and bash and that shit is not cool. Thank you. Really tea with Christy Marie. Realty. Like it. I believe you said you're new to the community or new to true crime. Welcome to our crazy. Welcome to our crazy. This is what we like to watch over here. This is what we deal with. So this is just this is how we do if I'm being honest there, Christy Marie, on a scale from 1 to 10, 1 being
she joined my chat cult. She's a chat cult member.
1 being like low ball, 10 being like full force. We're about flirting with a 4.5 on grifters and going full force hard. And a lot of, and we happen to be talking about a grifter that we cover a lot on this channel. But people, you don't need me to talk about Cher and tell you about her shenanigans. What I want you to do when you listen to this, you know Cher. I'm not going to tell you a narrative, a talking point. You know her. You guys know her from what you see on YouTube. What I want you to think about as you hear the rest of this clip is the shit she says about the Wells, the constant harassment with the Wells. I want you to take her for face value.
Little Dev said too.
Most of you, as you hear this, you're going to be like, this is a crock of shit. This is all made up what she's saying. It's what most of you, I think, are going to think. But I want everybody to be like, you know what? I'm going to play devil's advocate. I'll take her for her word. Because at the end of the day, these are her words. After we hear what we're about to hear, why is Cher pointing a finger at a Don, at a Candace, at a Chris, at a Katie, at a Pratt, at a anybody? Okay, so let's go back to that video. I'll get it right. We're going there right now. Y'all tell me.
Which already the apartment full of people living there and had like 3-4 different men in and out.
One for good.
And so
for no good volume.
Sisters and brothers, he went to jail and he had to go to jail for 30 days. And he said my mom didn't wait like 2 days and had already the apartment full of people living there and had like.
I'll tell you what, I'm gonna see what these comments say. I'm actually gonna start the whole thing over. What's up, Free from Fetters? What's happening, bro? Free from Fetters was at, you know where he went the other night?
Yeah, you told me.
The Chili Peppers. I'm so pissed we missed them. Audio's great. Okay, guys, thank you, Adele. So what I'm gonna do is play this from the beginning, guys. I want you to play devil's advocate with this one. She's definitely not on meth here. But
she's on some shit. Look at her fucking
let's start it from the beginning. Couch clips. I'll share it again. Front of the channel, much supported.
But I'm working on something to do with claiming the boys asked people to go on YouTube and act as their voice. So that's
the
concerning
boys.
to me.
Mm-hmm.
If the boys are in touch with YouTubers, that worries me. And because I've been a child of the government and I have been kidnapped several times. That concerns me. And with what's being alleged, that doesn't seem like protection to me. So it should absolutely be reported to the proper government authorities to make sure that the boys are safe. I wouldn't feel right without doing that.
So my dad, this is the very first time my dad ever got put in jail, which he said was like, so about his like 19th or 20th birthday. He went to jail and he had to go to jail for 30 days. And he said my mom didn't wait like 2 days and had already the apartment full of people living there and had like 3-4 different men in and out.
So her dad has 30 days to do. Now, this is the person telling you that Don and Candace Wells have the most unsettling home. There's all types of dope. There's CPS. There's all that. And listen, I'm not arguing the fact that the boys were taken by CPS. I'm not arguing a lot of facts. But as of now, out of Cher's own admission, she's been kidnapped multiple times in her life. And when she was like 11, 12 years old, her dad went to jail for 30 days, 1 month. And her mom found Jody and was porking dudes left and right.
Is it pig's pussy pork?
Like, this lady was going buck wild. And then also there's many people coming by the house. Well, what does that mean? Let's just use our brains here. What happens when there's a house with a lot of people coming in and out? I don't know. I'm going to take a wild guess here and say there's drugs. I'm just going to go out there on a limb. So just so we're keeping tabs here. Don and Candace bad. CPS bad. Boys bad. Alcohol bad. Now, Cher. We have drugs. We have infidelity. We have
here though.
We have infidelity. We have kidnapping. Let's have a listen, shall we? Let's have a listen, shall we?
And so, my dad's sisters and brothers had went to jail and told him, like, because they were concerned what was going to happen when my dad got out of jail, and they went to the jail before he got out and was like when you get out, you have to be calm, you have to keep your mouth shut. But Lowitcha, my mom, has a bunch of people living in your apartment, and she's had men in and out, and your daughter is not there with her.
So the dad's in jail. Okay. So just keeping track here, people. The dad is in jail for 30 days. The mom is getting porked in every orifice.
Woo!
There's people in and out every orifice. Also, they're breaking the lease and having all types of people stay in every orifice. So I'm just keeping a tab here. Okay, let's continue. Let's have a listen, shall we?
So my dad was like, where's my daughter? And I wasn't in the system. My very abusive grandma, my mom's mom, had me. And there's good memories with her and there's also bad memories with her. But when my dad said something last night, I had like this flashback. I like was in my grandma's kitchen for a second. It was very weird and surreal. So I'm actually I'll have my dad come on later because he'll love to come on the podcast, but I want my dad to tell you all the story too. But anyway, when he got out of jail, he had heard my grandma had me tied up to the kitchen table, which was a thing, also into the bed.
Okay, so just keeping track. Dad goes to jail for 30 days. Mom is porking everybody. Mom has people up in and out the house, coming and leaving. Mom has people living inside the house. Also, side note, Cher's not in the house. Dad's in jail. She's a minor. So dad's in jail. Mom has all this going on. Cher's not even there. But here comes grandma. Now, let's listen to what happens with grandma.
Bed, which was in the living room, where she could always have her eye on me. And I was not to ever move from that bed to even go, like, it was very, her husband that died was in the military. So not that what she did was very military, but like, I could not go to the bathroom without asking, or I would get in big trouble. Like every move, every breath I took had to be okayed, pretty much. And anyway, he had heard that, and yeah, he devised a plan with his friends to kidnap me and pretended and actually wrote up fake paper.
All right, so now here's the deal, people. I got the whole story. Okay, here's the deal. So dad goes to jail for 30 days. Okay, mom is porking everybody. Also, mom has people up in and out the house all the time. Also, mom has people come move inside the house. Also, dad's in jail. Mom is porking everybody, people everywhere. Cher is not in the house. Also, grandma comes to the picture. Also, grandma ties Cher to the kitchen chair and says, you tell me when you want to go to the bathroom and when you don't want to go to the bathroom, and I'll let you know if you can. Also, grandma slaps the shit out of Cher just randomly. Also, during the 30-day stint of this complete Jerry Springer made up bullshit, Dad, the Biden crime family, comes up with a plan to say, hey, here's the deal. What had happened is we're going to send in fake people to kidnap you because we don't want CPS to take you. So we're going to make up a fake kidnapping.
Don't forget she kidnapped herself too.
Also, people, this is like, why is this lady talking about the wells? I don't even know if that's legal. But why is the lady with the mohawk, the lady with the ass cheeks, the lady with the crotch rot, why is this lady talking about Chris and Katie? At the end of the day, Chris and Katie Proudfoot are better than Cher. Don and Candace Wells are better than Cher as people. Now, we talk about kids and that. I'm not throwing that in the mix. But you guys make sure that you pick up a life coaching session from this one. Also, the crotch rock cream and the Patreon. Let's hear the rest of this fuckery out.
Paperwork and everything, and they came and took me. My dad said he was pacing in a parking lot, concerned, like, how is this going to go down? How is this going to happen? But there was a couple ladies involved, they like dressed up like it was a thing. It was crazy. And they pretended to be CPS with my grandma and removed me from my home and put me with my dad until he went back to jail again. Got back with my mom, and all hell breaks loose again. But yeah, it's so crazy. I always remembered where my grandma's apartment was, and that's where my mom was. And I would actually, there's a few times they don't even know about, I'd say I'm going home from church with a friend to go hang out, and really I'd have them drive me in this parking lot, and I'd go buzz the ringers in the apartments trying to find, because I didn't remember. I was little. I was like 11 or 12. I couldn't remember. I was like, do you guys know Marjorie? Do you know my grandma? And people at the church started telling the officer, I'm like, I don't know what she's doing, but she's looking for somebody. She's brought her here a couple times, and she's looking for someone. It was weird. I helped kidnap myself a couple times.
How do you kidnap yourself? Okay. Is this even legal? 11 and 12. Last time I checked. How old are the boys, chat? How old are the boys, chat? Why is this person putting down families? Why is she taking shots at any missing person family? Why? Listen, even Chris Watts. Why is this person taking shots at any family member? She sounds like she's got to fix her trailer. She's got to get that double wide cleaned and pressure washed, because there's a whole bunch of loopholes in that story. People, I highly recommend you subscribe to Couch Clips. I'll put it in the description box, and our buddy, The Torch Spotlight, via YouTube. They keep up with all of her lies. And for people who have been supporting Cher and believing everything that she has been saying with the wells, well, good for you, I guess. So we're going to finish this out. I'm going to the comments, chop it up with you guys, and that'll end the contradictions of the night. But let's hear out what this lady says for the next 20 seconds.
And then, so then we started talking about my other kidnapping events last night. It's just crazy. This is not normal life.
Marie.
No. No,
what's up, Cotton Candy? Wifey's got the PO box up there. So this is the Couch Clips, people. I'm telling you, man, it's just out of control. It's out of control. On this one, we're just breaking down two people who have attacked the Wells family. If you're watching this and you don't agree with me, or you don't like the Wells, or you don't support the Wells, that is fine. I'm not trying to talk you into that. I'm not trying to convert you. I am simply and merely just bringing you information and debunking the misinformation said on the 2 creators that I reviewed. That is it. Anything that I have said in regards to my relationship with the Wells, I try to put it all out on the front street for everybody. I don't ever want to be this type of creator. Well, guys, look, Don or Candace told me one time this, but you guys can't view it or see it for yourself. This is why I always call them when I'm live, or verify things with them when I'm live. I want the audience to get the whole aspect, the whole relationship, the whole story. I never am going to bring you something with 0 receipts, 0 proof, 0 evidence, and expect you to believe it, because I myself will never watch YouTube channels like that. So I myself don't watch other channels that do that. So I'm never going to come up here as a creator on the same platform that I use to my subscribers, which I'm so thankful. I'm flirting right now with almost 20,000 followers. That is like something I never thought was possible. And so it is mandatory that I bring receipts. It's mandatory that I show you evidence, proof, anything that I say. And if I could do it like via phone call or via video or whatever in real time, that's best. Screenshots and all that stuff, all that's cool and all. It's mandatory. But if I could give you one up and better than that, I'm damn sure running for that. But you see 2 creators here that we talked about tonight, Jennifer Coffindaffer and Cher. Cher, I really hope. I'm going to tell you right now, people, my longtime subs, Cher's my new Benny Keys. I'm telling you right now.
Isn't that exciting?
I'm telling you right now.
So fucking special.
I'm telling you right now.
Great.
So we got Cotton Candy's in the house. We got Christy Marie. Miss Lori, how are you, Miss Lori Shortlist? Long time no see. Gifted. Thank you so much. Nobody said nothing.
I already thanked her.
Oh,
Damn.
thank you so much, Miss Lori. Always generous. Very generous over here. I appreciate it. I really appreciate it. Everybody give Miss Lori either a thumbs up emoji, a rose emoji, or 100 emoji. I'm asking you personally.
Thank you.
Or a thank you written out. That'll work too. Miss Debbie, how are you? But I appreciate you, Miss Lori. But yeah, man, that's what it is. I try to watch Little Dev. I'm glad that you're still in here. I'm glad that you're still in here. And I'm glad that none of my mods banned this person or timed him out. I happened to get rid of the one pixie person, just so everybody knows. I personally did that.
No, I personally did that.
Oh, I guess we both did. I just saw someone else I wanted to say. Bone Collector, what's happening? But I appreciate it. I really appreciate the person who reached out and brought. Oh, Short Legs. I didn't even see this either. Thank you so much, Mama.
I already
Thank you. I saw the memberships. Thank you. Who got the memberships? Who got the memberships? There was a person who will remain anonymous, because if you ever reach out to me and me, Noel, to bring us awareness of somebody attacking a family with missing children, if you bring it to our attention that there's a creator on the platform who's just abusing the opportunity in the situation, which is exactly what happened, because I myself was unaware that Coffindaffer was doing this. Earlier in the stream, we had Glare in here. Glare has been covering Coffindaffer for some time. And I will try to go back to his channel and look through his older streams and share another Coffindaffer stream after this ends. Okay. But to the person who reached out and brought it to our attention that Coffindaffer was saying these things about Don and Candace.
Yes, thank you for telling me.
You are appreciated. Okay. I don't ever publicly say who did what. And I need my face, my wife's face. I need people to feel comfortable and have
it's all about
a safe
loyalty
space
and
here
protection.
and say, hey, white boy, this is going on.
We are,
because I'm never going to slip and say, hey, guess what? It was Miss Joanne Glass that did it. Thanks so much, Miss.
That dirty Joanne.
So
she's always doing something. I'm going to say hi because I haven't said hi
tonight. It wasn't Miss Joanne. See this here? So it wasn't Miss Joanne. I was using Miss Joanne as an example.
It was Joanne.
It wasn't. But I do love Miss Joanne.
I'm joking. It wasn't her.
Wendy.
I love Wendy.
But anyway, if you feel the need to reach out to us to let me know something, I will keep you anonymous. Unless you want me to say something, I'll do that too. But and I only say this and end with this because look, I work. Okay, I'm not a YouTuber that sits around and all day twiddles my thumbs and says, you know what kind of lie on a family with a missing child can I just, make up today? Maybe I'll say Don essayed Summer. Maybe I'll say that, Sebastian Rogers' father did this. I'm never going to do that. Okay. I'm just trying to bring awareness to some really pieces of shit that dwell in this community that you probably know, that you probably clicked their video on, that you may or may not support. I'm not telling you or ever going to tell you who you should support or who you should watch or why I'm going to block you if you're in their chat. No, we don't run a cult. Okay. It doesn't go like that over here. All I can do as a creator, if you choose to continue to view me, watch me, subscribe, tune in, I'll promise you to always bring receipts. I promise you to stay real, blunt. I promise you to bring evidence. I'm never going to just spew something and have you take it for face value and then go around these other chats in the community and repeat my narrative. So you end up like Pixie, who looked silly tonight because she was repeating some bullshit that she heard and she was misinformed. And unfortunately for Pixie, she was very adamant about her point, but it didn't have any value to it. There was nothing behind it. And I don't ever want my viewers to leave my chat like that. If you come over here, I want you to have three things. A, get some laughs. B, have some receipts. And 3, be entertained and learn something. And that's all I ask, man. And that's all I ask. I love everybody. And we probably gonna go live again this weekend. But much love and much respect to everybody. Y'all stay safe, man. And it's never okay to bully people. I cover true crime. I talk about all crime. But something that I don't like is cyber bullying. I don't like bullying. I got bullied a lot when I was a kid until I found out that, hey, I could beat the shit out of somebody that's doing this to me. And then everything changed. But I don't like bullying. And in the world of social media, it is ramped up and people do it more. At least the guy who bullied me, I could put hands on. I could teach him a lesson. Nowadays, shit's all fucked up. So I don't like cowards. I don't like scammers. I don't like exploiters. I don't like bullies. That's what I'm about. You come over here and expect true crime up the yin yang. That's not what I do. I cover it, but I stick up for people too. Because if you're going to watch this content and be in this community, you never know when you need somebody like me. Trust me. Just ask my subs. Until the next one.